Hello there. I'm your man Thor Gunderson, and welcome to a very special Labor Day weekend edition of Open Mic. We have some very special guests here today, but first we must introduce the future winner of XM Gambit, Rodney the Punisher Jones.
Stirring the pot. What's up, y'all?
And always our technical advisor and mentor coach, Ryan Penny, live from the Savage Land, Mr. Sinister. That's it, man.
Not even
also from we have Mr. Dave Cassie. How are you today, sir?
Doing excellent, doing excellent. I just now realized we both have the Sinister thing going on. It's my group.
Yeah,
it's a good character, man. It's a good character.
Yeah.
And these gentlemen require no introduction. If you are in the statue collecting world, you don't know who these people are. I want to know the rock you've been living under. We have Mr. Alex Thomas, Mr. George Geo William. Welcome, Radd Titan Collectibles.
Thank you very, very much for the invitation. It's great to actually repay the favor after you boys came onto our chat. And it's actually nice, probably for Alex, to be able to sit there and not have to do much but drink whiskey.
Yeah. See, the Jameson is open already, sir.
That's what's up.
So does that mean he's pulling a Geo?
What's that? Doing nothing. Do it to nothing.
I'm just
man. I don't know what's going on.
He's playing a mannequin right now.
Well, Geo's the one who responds to everyone's YouTube comments.
Yeah, that's I mean, the technical side, I leave to Alex to do because my patience is about this big. So, laptops, they get thrown across the room. Computers get thrown across the room. It's just not smart. The only reason I use the phone for a lot of the time when I do these chats is because it's too valuable for me to throw it anywhere. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean it's great to be on here. I'm sure Alex will get his it wouldn't be anywhere with that. Oh, there he is.
He's playing.
I just had like a moment where I just shit myself because basically I just sent the screenshot to Ryan because he's a technical guy. I just got the blue screen of death flash up on my PC. It kicked me out and it goes, "Yep, we're going to restart." And I'm like, "Oh, wow." Yeah, last time that happened, I had to take my PC apart, reset everything. Luckily, it restarted and came back in. Otherwise, I would have been.
Is that maybe an American-made laptop they're using?
No. It's a built PC. So okay. I built it. So that's the problem.
Okay.
Take you through a whole bunch of updates.
Yeah. So, Alex, you just got back from Thailand, man. Tell us about your trip.
Yeah, so I've been doing loads of traveling lately. Very, very fortunate to know quite a lot of people. So when I go all these places, I visit a lot of people. I did a whole week of geek stuff for the channel. So Figurama, we're doing an event there. There's a place over there called Massive Toy Gallery, and it's joined onto the Massive Cafe. If you are ever in Thailand, Bangkok, you have to go to this place. It is like a museum. It's basically the guy's collection. He wanted to set up a gallery to display his collection, and his wife wanted to set up a coffee shop. So they kind of put their hands together and made a coffee shop with a gallery attached. And he lives above it, which I found out as well. So his house basically makes him money, which is a genius. And he gets an excuse because he doesn't charge for the gallery, but he's charging obviously when people buy coffees and things. So I was there. There was an event for Figurama, so we were there. They were unveiling their Tokyo Ghoul piece. Their pieces are, I think they're like 1/5, 1/6. They don't really scale them. They refuse to say what scales they are because people are so, where if they say the scale and it's slightly off, then people lose their shit. With dioramas, you can't really say this is quarter scale, fifth scale, just because of the sheer size of two characters or however many it will be. So their pieces are really impressive, like very impressive, very detailed, great. So I was there for that. I met up with Studio Hive while I was there. Again, they do all the concept work behind the scenes. They do loads of video games. They do loads of comics. One of the owners actually does all cover art for Marvel. He's doing at the moment. He's doing a variant cover art. If you look up on eBay, for example, and look up Venom variant and then Scan, SKAN. That's the artist name. And he's doing all these new Venom variants where Venom has fucking bat wings, which are insane. Yeah, he was showing me the stuff, and I'm like, "Whoa, what? Venom's already badass enough, and now he's got fucking bat wings." Okay, yeah. So now
I didn't know this was his. I didn't know this was his cover.
His cover is the Scan
Sure.
variant, so SKAN variant. He basically got famous because he did the. There you go. You have to click on Ryan for us to see it. Whoever the host is.
Oh, I got him.
You gotta select me.
I got him up.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Dude, you need to be telling Scan send me one of them.
Well, fuck! I forgot to show you because you were over today. I forgot to show you the cover he drew for me.
This looks like his too.
Damn.
He's doing that. He's done a couple of he's done a Thanos on Throne cover as well, which I don't think's out yet.
Is this supposed to be the king of the symbiotes or whatever?
Yeah,
I don't know the story.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it
It
is.
is.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that looks awesome. That's very talented.
And he also he got sort of he was already an artist anyway, but he got known because he did the cover and stuff for the what's he called, Weapon H or something. Do you know where Hulk gets
the Hulk and the Wolverine?
Yeah, he did that. So he got kind of famous for that, which is a very
we've
love-hate
got
thing.
A few personalised pieces from him, haven't we, Al? A few little sketches from him.
When we met him last year in Singapore, all the guys who were there, we went to an event where they did some top secret stuff and they showed all these pieces which were coming out. Everyone there got a little goodie bag, and one of them was basically your favorite character drawn by this guy. So it was just like a portrait. So I had Surfer's head and George had Thanos' head. I think Bale's got Daredevil. I can't remember. What did Rebecca get? I can't remember. But then we all got portraits from him. And apparently, when I was speaking to Khan, who's the other owner, he says that he can't give them away anymore, and he's not allowed because he got an email from Disney to say you're not allowed now because you're a known artist. You have to charge these prices for anything, and it's basically he goes for that. That comic, because basically I was talking to him and he's doodling on a comic. He drew Venom actually really well, and I'll go get it in a second, but he was drawing that, and then he goes, I've got to go, I've got a lot of work to do, I've got a meeting, and he left me with Khan, and he goes here you go, you can have that. And I was like, oh shit, awesome, man, awesome. And Khan was like, yeah, if that was a convention, that's $200 you owe us. And I was like, hey, I ain't paying you, fuck off.
The Hebrew in you is strong, my brother.
Yeah.
The Hebrew is strong.
What was the other thing? I went to a place there called Mega Plaza, which is a 5 or 6 story. They're kind of shopping malls. Some of them are quite weird because they're indoor markets as well. So on the 5th or 6th floor, I think it was the 6th floor, they've got 5 or 6 collectible shops. And if you look at any shop in London, for example, London's meant to be one of the biggest cities in the world. We have nothing. We have nothing at all to do with collectibles. We have Forbidden Planet, and that's it. That's all we have. And Forbidden Planet is basically.
Don't ever go there.
If you think of Wolverine versus Hulk, that was $600, wasn't it? $650.
Right, $650.
Yeah. Over here, they were selling it for £900, which is about $1,150. Yeah. So and that was a regular. And
Damn.
all you do is you go to Forbidden Planet if you want to see something, and then you go back and you order it on eBay much cheaper. That's all you do.
But in fairness, most of their stuff is in the window, so it's heavily faded.
That's that place.
Yeah.
That's the interesting part. I mean, you can really see the damage that sunlight will do to your pieces if you leave them unattended. I mean, now some of them are fucked. I mean, we saw the Hulk one.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That was like a tomato orange. That was ruined.
Yeah.
That was.
First time I saw the Hulk maquette was there in the window, and I remember looking at it and I was going, "This is a heap of shit." The paint is fucked, and it's just really, really horrible. It's bad. And then I got a deal from it was Akbar, wasn't it? The guy who was up in Ellsborough.
Big bro, little bro.
Yeah, Akbar was saying big bro, little bro. And basically, I got a deal from him. He sold me one for £330 shipped. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it a go. It was signed by Lou Ferrigno, which is totally irrelevant, but it was signed by Lou Ferrigno anyway. And then I got it in, and I was just like, all right, we'll do the review, and then we'll do whatever. I got it in, opened up, and I'm like, actually, this is pretty damn good, you know. And it was just really funny. Yeah, it was really funny to see that way where it, you know, because it was a forbidden planet, it was fun. But yeah, so these stores over there, there's like 5 or 6 of them, and they have absolutely every piece you can think of. They have all the Prime 1 prototypes over there as well. They got loads of pieces. Then they've got all these kind of like other studios where they're making their own things. So basically, there was this big like Medusa coming out of the water, and she's got like 6 arms, and it was I don't know, the whole clear resin base, and it was really, really impressive. I've done a video of that. I don't know if I posted that. I don't think I posted that one yet, but she was super impressive.
You need to get my fucking Captain America up. I got a message the other day asking me how big Captain America was, XM's Sentinel of Liberty, from a guy who was going to buy it. And I said, man, check out our review. He's like, you ain't done one. I was like,
yeah. If
yeah,
well,
we have.
yeah. Well, if I open the folder, right, which says what I need to edit, there is literally now 50 videos to edit, and I'm just about to go. To Singapore, which is going to be like another 50. It's going to be ridiculous. So, if anyone wants to be my personal assistant, that'd be awesome.
We need an editing assistant. I'll tell you that. But
yeah,
we need somebody.
Rodney.
Well, we had 2 people. We had Richard. Richard offered, and he did. I think he actually did 2. I think he did 2 videos, or I know he did like Wonder Woman and maybe the video game Joker. And then I think because I said to him, okay, next time if you change that, do that, don't do this, don't do that, and blah blah. And then I think he was like, yeah, you ungrateful cunt, I'm not doing it anymore. So I think that's what he was thinking. Yeah, so that was that. But then, as I say, when I was in that the toy store place, the owner of Toylexy, he brought the Thanos there that they made. So he asked me for like, you know, my critique about it, which, you know, we're quite happy to do that, to tell people how to improve it and whatever else. We won't just say it's great for the sake of it.
Well, what did you think about it? What did you think about it, Alex? Because that's one that like really caught my eye from the proportions are a little crazy. So I think
I think the problem with it is it's like any other thing like that as well. For example, we reviewed today the Chubby Wolverine, the Chubby Wolf. It's called Chubby Wolf. And
Dad bod Wolverine, right?
Sorry,
Dad bod Wolverine.
Yeah, with the burgers and whatever else. And
also known as American Wolverine.
Well, he looks a bit Asian. He does look a bit Asian. He looks like Sang from XM. Looks like
Alex said that. Alex has said that in the review. He's just about to get on a plane and spend 5 to 7 days with a man who's capable of Bane snapping his spine when he gets over it.
Yeah, but the thing you don't seem to remember or think about is I ain't posted the review until after. But
dude,
so
I was walking with Sang once outside the convention, and we were getting in a taxi, and he was like widely bowling, like, and stupidly I let my guard down. And I said to him, "You know, you look like fucking Odd Job, like from the James Bond movies, like the villain."
Shit.
I'm telling you, man, he moved fast, and my reactions come, and he jumped over the fucking railing. I'm telling you, and he jumped over the moving track. He moved a little bit quick. I thought, shit, he's coming at me, man. He moves quick. He's fast for a big guy.
But yeah, but we're back to with the Thanos. I mean, it's the same as that Wolverine and things like that. Is whenever you take anything and you sort of add your own style to it, you know, like the Thanos is a bit of a caricature of it, and in person it does look better. I mean, there are some improvements that need to be made. I think the eyes need to be different because he looks like an old man who's got like really bad bags under his eyes, and the eyes need to be painted a different color, I think. Also, I think the base is unnecessarily big. There's like a big spike that comes out the back that originally Mistress Steph was meant to be on. And she's not coming anymore, so they might as well cut that off. Also, they were going to do like the base in clear resin and have it light up. It is totally unnecessary. The base was actually painted really, really well. The lava was painted very well. I think overall, the issue was mainly the size of it, considering it was like 1/8 or something, but the size of the footprint of it, and then the price point as well. Because I mean, their Iron Man, I think, is about $800 retail. When we were talking about it, I said to him, "Look, you know, the piece right behind us was the new PF Wolverine," and I said, "Look, that was $570 or whatever it was. This is $800. This is the people don't see it as in this is that much work and this is that and this is this and this and that. They look at it as in this is quarter scale and this is 500 and whatever dollars and this is 1/8 scale and it's this and the base is that, and they don't look. He goes, "Oh, it's a storytelling base," and I was like, "They don't look at it like that. You know, people don't."
We don't fucking care. It's 1/8.
Pretty much.
It's not that we're not looking at it. We're looking. But
Well, it's the same. It's the same argument.
Lobo problem, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Same argument as Lobo.
Yeah,
exactly the same as that. So 1/6 scale, $1,000 to get that over in the UK. That is an 18-kilo box, I think it said.
Do you have a problem?
Pounds, yeah.
Do you have a problem with that, Lobo? Because to me, it's just a tall 1/4 scale on its side. You know, like material wise.
yeah. You got a point. Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's 15 inches wide.
No.
It's 31 inches wide.
No. It was wide. It's like it's
30.
it's like
31
80
inches.
Yeah, 80,
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like a 1/4 scale on its side.
It's more like a 1/3 on its side.
It's funny. It really is a bit of an interesting like argument because when I first saw it, I think I sent it to you guys. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it's a 1/6. It's $999. Like I don't care how big it is. That's a problem. And then there was a lot of debate, and it kind of got me thinking a little bit because, like, I know what Brandon said was that you're getting a lot of statue for the money. You're getting actually in terms of the size, but at the same time, like a lot of these people who buy 1/6 statues, they only want them for their displayability and the price. Right, like people who are into 1/6, and so that kind of defeats the whole purpose of that. I don't know. And there's no edition size yet. I don't think, like, which is so. I don't know. It's interesting to see it from both sides a little bit, but yeah,
that's the exact point
I'm not
I made. That's the exact point I made to the Twilighty guy. I said to him about the reason why someone would buy one of these pieces, his Iron Man and his Thanos, is because it's 1/8 and it's displayable. But as soon as you make it, a bigger footprint than a quarter scale and a bigger price point, then you've lost them customers. So I don't know. And then I've been talking with him about his other stuff because I do really like his original stuff that he did, which was actually unlicensed. Which is it was they're two Wolverines. There's like a Wolverine where he's wearing a vest and it's like a caricature and it's small and he's smoking a cigar. And then they did another one where it's like he's in a suit and he's looking up. He's got like a really long neck and it's screaming. He's got like a massive mouth. And then he did like a Hulk and a Captain America. So he done like these 4 unlicensed. And I said to him, "Why didn't you go stick to those?" He goes, "Oh, because I did them unlicensed." So I said, "Yeah, but now you have a license. You can go back and do them." And he was like, "Well, I don't know. And I'm trying this and trying that." And I said, "Why would you need to test the market again when you already tested the market and you sold 500 of each and they sold out? So you already know they sell." So
do you think the license would be happy with him doing that, like kind of caricature of the character? I guess I don't know if you thought about that part.
No, because if you look at his Iron Man, if you look at his Iron Man and Thanos, they are already caricatures. So
that's true.
And it's not like, for example, with the Fat Wolverine, he probably wouldn't get approved. The reason for that is because the Wolverine is really, really nice and it's really, really good quality. But the problem with that is they're saying, well, it's promoting unhealthiness and it's saying that our brand is, out of shape and old. They look at it, they overanalyze it. But with the caricatures, it's still there.
It is amazing. You would not believe when you sit down and you haven't, like when people say like we sat down and we had dinner with XM and we did this and we did that and oh my god. But you know what, man? Them sitting down meals with people like that, they're worth £10,000 in cash because the information that you hear would fucking blow your mind. Like for example, like Craven, like XM's Craven. It gets all this grief. People say, "Oh, it's one of their worst. It's one of this. It's one of that." You know, Spider-Man's weak. It's one of XM's weak pieces, right? That piece was a completely different concept, yeah, and it was done. And then what happened is an American, no, I think it was an American dentist.
It was the dentist, yeah.
Yeah, it was an American dentist, went over to South Africa and shot a very famous lion. A very famous, it brings loads of tourists.
It was like Cecil or something.
Yeah, exactly. He killed a really famous lion. And because that happened, because of the political implications of that situation that occurred, XM had to change their whole design.
It was to do.
He had a gun. He was looking down the sight. It was all completely different design with that lion. But they basically
it was to do with the pose that the dentist had. He was posing with a rifle in the same way, like pretty much the Craven was posed in on the statue.
It was a similar way, but it's not the point. The point is they looked at that and they said, "Oh, you know, you have to change this. You have to take the rifle away, or lose the lion, or you have to do this. You have to change this. You have to." And then all of a sudden, that's where that imbalance comes from, because they've had to then go, "Okay, we've got 3/4 of a design done. We now to, you know, now we need to like cut it, chop it, change it." And it's thinking to yourself in that way, you know, what are these fucking people thinking? Are they stupid? What's one thing got to do with the other? What has that dentist killing that lion have to do with Craven the Hunter and his lion? He ain't shooting the lion or killing his own lion. That wasn't what was going on. So you've got to ask yourself, you know, sometimes you can be so over fucking sensitive about stuff that what you end up doing is you end up killing the creative process of a design, because you're like, oh, you know, once there was a person who had a knife and he killed another person to lose the knife. Wolverine, you know, cancer with smoking. Let's not have Wolverine have a cigar. Oh my God, what would happen? 4-year-old's going to go out and buy cigars. Man, get a fucking grip.
I think that's what we heard. I think that's what I heard with the XM Medusa, right? Was that she was going to have a glass of wine, right?
She had a goblet for the wine.
Yeah.
I'm sure that glass of wine would have saved the fees.
Nobody had the glass of wine. There was a glass of wine and it killed a woman. Please don't have the goblet anymore. It's just like, you know.
There's more of them though, isn't there? Because there was, with Namor, where he's obviously now riding a fucking octopus or whatever he's riding.
Riding the shit out of
Kraken.
Yeah, the original concept was him riding a shark. He's standing on the shark and he's got a chain in his hand. 2 sharks got chains like around his hands, and he's like reining them in, and they got like bit in their mouth, and they're being pulled up, and he's like pulling them like that, and it would have been fucking insane.
Animal cruelty.
Yeah, animal cruelty. And then the other one,
animal cruelty to a great white shark. Right.
Yeah, the other one was.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck.
Is it human cruelty when they bite us?
Think about this. Because as soon as you see that statue, you're going to go get yourself some reins and try and ride it.
Yeah. Well, the other one was.
This is where it comes from. You would sit down and you talk about these things, and you think, my God, man, these are the people making decisions. These fucking people are telling you what is artistic and what you can't do, and you just think to yourself, wow.
And
well, that's the thing,
people
Geo.
look other places.
Yeah, that's the thing exactly. So like, I talk to a lot of sculptors. I know you guys do too, and I know there's a lot of fatigue with a lot of sculptors. I'm not just talking 1 or 2 people. About 5, 10 people I've talked to who say that they don't like working for a license if they can avoid it, because they get so creatively put into a box. And then it also takes months. Like I know people who have finished a sculpt, 8, 9 months ago now, 7, 8 months, and then you still haven't seen it. And like that's frustrating for an artist, because by the time it comes out, they're like, "This is old work. I'm better than this now," And so it's interesting, with fan art and stuff like that.
The original concept that Studio Hive did for Thanos basically was Thanos standing on all of the fallen Avengers, and they said it was like Khan. It was like it was one of our best concepts, and it's one of the concepts that we. We're like, this is so amazing. It didn't even go to Disney. It didn't even go there, because they knew. They did the concept, they worked it all out, they did this, did that, and then I think there's a picture of it on their wall as you're walking down the stairs. But it's there, and then they never even showed it because they were like, "There's no point. There's no point." I asked him about. I did an interview with him actually about that, and asked him about the frustration about being, if you. And the other question I asked him actually, sorry, was about if you do a really, really great sculpt, really great concept, and it looks amazing, and then what happens is they go cheap on the factory, and the factory fucks it all up. Everyone says it's a shit piece, but it's still attached to your studio that you did the concept, and you'll get that name that you did that shit piece. But it's like it was actually great until it got to that area, like the 10 stages long.
And it's not just XM though. It happens to
everybody. Yeah, everybody.
That Magneto that we're seeing now is another prime example from Sideshow. That is a very, very old piece that has been delayed, moved, pushed because of film scheduling or other stuff, or something to do with it. It's been held back. Huh?
It was to do with Fox. They blocked it because of Fox, didn't they? Because they didn't want to promote.
So then, when it does come out, we're all going, "Wow, man, we're light years ahead of this shit." This is a 2014 piece, man. What the fuck are you talking about? And it happens to everybody. But as long as it does happen, custom pieces and fan art pieces will always have a power. They will always have power until the people making the decisions are a little bit more clued up about what they're doing. Because I think that the people making the decisions aren't smart enough to do with statues or anything to do with that. I think it's an over political or over sensitive sort of stance. Until they relax that a little bit, if you want to kill the market, if you want to kill custom market, just relax the licensed creativity a little bit, and it'll kill it. It'll do it itself.
In all honesty,
and everybody else, they'll kill them themselves.
In all honesty, though, George, if you're thinking about this from a very small point of view. I mean, we're only thinking about this from collectible statue side. Do you know how small that is to Disney Marvel? Do you know how much that they get? Like a couple of $1 million maybe for that, for their licenses, but then for everything else.
Yeah, but if you look at it from the same point of view as that, right? If it's small, then why be so stringent about it? It's
exactly
out and it's affecting everybody. Why be so anal about what you're looking at? Why can't sharks be ridden? I mean, it's a comic. It's a comic character. Why can't
I like that sentence.
Why can't sharks be ridden?
Yeah, that should be the title of the chat. Why can't we
But wait, here's another. I mean, yeah, if sharks can't be ridden, why can an octopus be?
Because an octopus doesn't have bones and they're not meant to feel pain.
But they're considered more intelligent.
They are more intelligent, but they're not classed as animals, and it's not the same, is it? Because they don't have they're not vertebrate, is it? Vertebrate?
No, you're right. You're right.
No
vertebrate. Animals and animals. So like, if you say one's okay and the other one's not, it's kind of shitty.
Apparently they can't feel pain.
Yeah, but even us talking about this, you make yourself laugh. Imagine being around a boardroom.
Get that shark out of here.
And you're wearing your suit and you're going, yeah, but that rain in the shark's mouth, that looks a bit cool. I don't know. I don't know if we could do that. You'd go out of there. You should jump out of the fucking window, man.
They got 20 names on the whiteboard. We got jellyfish we can use. We got octopi.
The expendable
goldfish. No one gives a shit.
Hey, Dave. Before we move to Singapore Toy Game Comic Con, show us your piece you got in, bro.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No.
Speaking of 1/6.
Yeah, I was going to sneak them in here a little bit. I was going to use my laptop, but that thing never works for these chats. So I'm back on the phone. But yeah, I got this little sweet Tweeter Head X. I don't know if you guys can see it at all, but it's pretty damn good. And I'm surprised. I was planning. I had it come
bigger than I thought, man.
It's big. Yeah, it looks more like a 1/5, honestly, to me, especially because it's got. I dropped you guys. Especially because the base is like a.
We're cutting you off, Dave.
This is where everyone in the chat throws up from motion sickness.
They should. Yeah, they should. But
don't drink and watch Dave Cassie,
or do drink. I mean, obviously tons of toxins, No, but it's funny for me.
It looks great in the thing. Yeah, I've seen a lot of posts about it. It looks amazing. We ahead do some really good stuff.
That's the thing, Geo. That's the thing, Geo. So I started collecting like 4 or 5 years ago now. So I kind of caught the end of Bowen. So I had had the Apocalypse, great piece. I had the Magneto. I had all the Kotobukiya stuff. I had a lot of the 1/6, and it's a different. You can't judge them because they're different eras of collecting. But this has more detail than any of them. Because I was going to get this, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't really fit what I'm going to do anymore. Like I might end up selling it once I get it in. But as soon as I pulled it out of the box, I was like, nope. It's cool, man. It's really good. And like I know I was talking to Gio about this, but my girlfriend, she's seen 30 pieces now. She said it was her favorite out of any of them. And I've had Prime 1 stuff too. So I mean, it's pretty impressive, especially the exclusive. I don't know. I was pretty blown away by it.
Stepping up their game.
On a personal level, I find that value, like that point of a person that doesn't collect, I find their opinion very, very important. So when somebody comes around my house and like, I don't know, like a virgin repair guy or somebody, you know, doing something in my house, someone who doesn't collect walks into this room to do anything and they're like, oh, wow. You know what I mean?
love that.
I always ask them, always, when they're looking around all my stuff, I say, what do you like? Tell me what you like and why. Because I always find that, you know, when I've got people in who basically are collectors, they'll be like, oh my God, Magneto or you know, oh my God, Aaron Ray Perez, Hulk versus Wolverine dial. They'll say something that they've seen, that they know, something hype, something valuable. But it's when somebody comes in who has no idea what they cost, no idea of the romance or the hype or the OG this or the new school that. It's their opinion that I find really interesting, because it's like that. It's like the tweet ahead Joker. You'll get that. That's what will happen. They'll walk over and go, oh my God, it's this. And it may be something you paid £100 for. It may be something you don't even consider valuable, something you're thinking is selling, but the quality of it.
That's exactly the same. That's exactly the same in my house. I mean, my girlfriend's favorite piece is the original Sideshow Hellboy, which I paid £120, £130 for. So what's that, $180? And I got it a long time ago, and I think it was my second premium format, and it's the longest piece to stay in my collection. I mean, I bought and sold. I must have bought and sold over 200 pieces, and it's still in there. And she loves it. And her second favorite piece that she's seen of all time is the Rogue by the Mystique by XM.
Hey, so given that mentality, when I ask my wife what her favorite piece is and she doesn't give me an answer and just walks out,
It's time to break it off.
Does this mean I need to get rid of all my shit? Does not.
Maybe me for nothing good enough. I don't know.
Apparently.
Well, my mother always bragging to people about this shit, and she sent my godparents over one time because I was smoking a roast for they were having a bridal shower or some shit, and she said, "Well, you know, I've heard about this basement. Take us down to the basement." What I did, I left the lights off on purpose, so they came over like, "Holy!" I turned the lights on. They were like, "Holy fuck!" And dude, when they got the Ghost Rider, that they just froze in their fucking tracks, and they was like, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? And just like 10 minutes staring at it. You know, they didn't even want to touch it. I didn't want them to touch it, but yeah, man. I always love when people who, like you said, not into this shit and they come and see it. It's always amazing.
I think it's a fairer judgment of quality.
Right.
If I'm being honest with you, I think you can try. I mean, I know that we all maybe have some degree of knowledge of sculpting and painting and the process that is made, which I understand. But I just think when you ask somebody, you know, what do you like, and you know, what is it about it that you like? I mean, I always get maybe, you know, I always get Deadpool. Always get Aaron Ray Perez's Deadpool, the red one, always. Like that is probably about 80% of what people will go to and go, oh my fucking that. You know, and I get that because it's got the bass and the action and everything else. It's a little bit more of a storytelling piece. Unfortunately, with my wife, it's she's expensive.
Mine too.
She likes expensive pieces. So whenever she likes something, I know I'm going to end up paying a lot of money for it, like Magneto or the Thanos on Throne. She's responsible for all of that. That's the stuff.
I wish I could blame my wife for all the expensive pieces I bought.
Great. Do you know what my girlfriend did to me one day, right? I was sitting in my room, chilling my beans. I'm there. I think I was just like, I had my laptop there, and I'm just like doing so, probably responding to YouTube or whatever. And I'm there, and she just comes in, and I'm like, I look up, and I'm like, "You all right?" And she just like looks at me, and she looks around the room, and she's like, you know, tomorrow. you know, tomorrow, I could go out. And I could buy a bigger and better collection than you have here. And then she walked back, and then she walked out, and I was like, "Ooh, wow, that was a bit hard."
I bet your penis went about that big.
I bet it inverted.
That's the
man.
dark side we didn't see. That's the dark side we didn't see in your interview, Alex.
Yeah.
She just fucking
That's
shit up.
some
I was
sinister
like,
shit,
interview
dude.
was
wow,
class, man.
what a
That was
sweet, what a
beautiful.
sweet woman, and then she's just ragging on you behind the
Yeah.
scenes.
It was so great.
I
That she
felt
knew
like
exactly what she
crying.
liked.
That's
I
like
felt like crying.
diabolical.
But it's true as well, though. That's the thing. That's the thing that made it worse. So
I would have been like, do it.
Rodney, do you have
Yeah.
one? I don't know if maybe I missed you, but did you have anyone, someone who's coming to
Yeah.
your?
So like my kid's favorite piece is a fan art piece. It's the crow, Eric Draven.
oh yeah.
My mother, she loves the shard from Court of the Dead. So that's her favorite. And yeah, which I love them both, but they're not my favorites.
We know who your favorite is, Rodney. He's watching over you right now.
Where's your favorite?
Bruce Lee, no?
Bruce Lee.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you got
That's-
both of them now, Ronnie, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got the Game of Death and the Enter the Dragon. What one
Oh,
did you
oh, yeah.
prefer?
Game of Death.
That Game of Death.
That was the one.
This
That was the
card.
one. Yeah, that's like a sentimental piece for me. All growing up, that was.
I think it's quite iconic, though. Considering that Bruce Lee actually died in the filming of that film. And I really like the story of that. If anyone's ever seen Game of Death, didn't he fight like Abdul Jabbar in that film?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
I swear he
and
kicked him up into the ceiling or some shit. Because apparently, Bruce Lee actually trained Abdul Jabbar. He trained
Yeah,
a
he
lot
did.
of celebrities in
Steve
private.
McQueen,
Him and James
Darth,
Coburn. He
James
trained him.
Coburn, a lot of actors. James Gardner, I think was
I'm
one.
not sure. I know he trained Coburn. I don't know about Gardner.
No,
Well, see,
I
Yeah.
remember watching your unboxing of that, man, and when you were struggling with the nunchucks, I was pissing off.
yeah, we didn't know until after it was over because no YouTube video or anything helped.
No,
The
No.
nunchucks unscrew.
Yeah,
So that's how you can put it in the hand. But it was funny, the guy I bought it from, he didn't even know. So,
He just left it in the box.
Gary,
yeah.
Like Gary
So I would have the
When we
nunchucks.
when we
was-
have Gary Speed round, he's the same. It's his
Gary
piece.
Speed.
Gary, where does this go? He goes, I didn't even know that was in the box. Be like,
Speaking of Gary sent me a list of all his pieces.
Yeah.
I did that too. I got bored halfway through.
dude,
Did he send it to you too?
Yeah, and I got like
Oh my god!
I
He
can
told me
imagine.
he say he has 97 pieces,
Yeah.
and then I got like messages every hour afterwards going, "Yeah, I forgot about this one."
no, he sent it to me and it wasn't even formatted, which maybe I'm just being a snob because I was like, holy shit, it's like a paragraph.
Stream of consciousness.
Yeah,
Like a
Yeah.
wall of text.
You know what?
Like,
You know what
Is
I
he,
love
is
about
he getting that Doomsday? I'm sorry.
yeah, he's got
He
the
is
prime one to
getting
do this.
Doomsday.
You know
I
what I
have
love
anxiety.
about
I have anxiety for him. Like, where the fuck? I saw you guys talking about that. I was like, that thing's bigger than he is.
Right, Gary is a true in what I call he's a collector. If you look at every piece that he has eras. He has collected eras. He has pieces that are from A, and B, and replicas, and OG, and new school, and custom, and it's basically, it says a lot about what journey he's been on in collecting. It's like when I look behind Thor and I see the new, Iron Studios Vader, and then you've got Mythos there, and then you've got the Darth Titan and a bit of PCS. I think that sort of says something about who you are as a person, and like what eras you like from collecting and what sort of stuff suits you. And what I find really difficult at the moment, what I'm disliking a lot, is the trending. I'm seeing a lot of people that have OG and then sell and get all XM, and then sell all the XM and they get all Prime 1 because they're the new boys on the block. Then you sell all the Prime 1 and you get all customs. I think that, if you're when you collect, if you're the type of person that will drop everything you ever like to buy the new kid on the block stuff, I think actually all you ever do is keep recycling your stuff over and over again. You're chasing a cloud that you'll never catch. You're chasing a dream that you'll never realize. I think you have to look at it and say, you know what? There was something about the OG Punisher comic that I loved, and I don't give a fuck if nobody else liked it, but I loved it, so I'm going to keep that. And then I'm going to get the Ghost Rider from XM because that was a big moment. And then I'm going to get do you understand? Do you get what I'm saying? I really like when I go into a room and I see like all Bowen designs or all any XM. I mean, I had it for a little while. I had an overwhelming amount of XM in my room, and it really lost its sparkle after a little while. It just looked all the same style.
Right.
And I just felt to myself, I'm falling into this trap myself. I'm starting to fucking trend. I'm starting to go, 2017 was XM's year, so I've got 12, 15 XM pieces. I had to sort of like check myself a bit because I felt I was going that way. I kind of like that. I kind of like this, the way, that sort of looks for me. The way like Ryan's got a few bits and pieces as well. I like it when there's sparkles, there's a few little gems of time just mixed into your collection that sort of says something about, your chase.
Right.
Finding.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
I love
And
it.
if
When I go to places and they got, and Gary's a true, he's a true collector. He doesn't sell a lot. He doesn't move a lot on, and he has, if it doesn't matter if it's replicas or, he has stuff from fucking all different scales, busts, all different sizes. It's all about, the times that because he's been collecting for probably 15 years.
Yeah, I always wonder if you're
always.
I always wonder if you're always collecting and trading. Do you ever have a chance to sit down and just enjoy it?
Yeah, it's a good point.
I mean, the thing is I went through. The thing that I have to say as well, in my defence, is I bought a hell of a lot of pieces over a very short amount of time. But I literally would be out, and I would be bidding on eBay, and then I was setting up. Like snipes to like last minute to bid, and I'd wake up like in the morning and I wouldn't even know I bid. I couldn't remember I bidding, and then like 3 days later, you've won this thing, and I'm like, what the fuck do you mean I won it? I didn't even bid on it. And then I go into this like snipe app, and I see like 10 things I put on there, and I think but also I had because our channel was kind of growing. I wanted to get things in as well that we could review. And then also that if I didn't like the piece, at least we would get the review under our belt. And, at that time, you could buy and sell things pretty easy. So if you didn't have any hassle, if you bought something in, you could sell it a week later and you wouldn't lose your money, it would be fine. So with that in mind, that's probably 1/4 of our reviews is probably because of me buying shit like that. But out of all of the pieces I've sold, and I could probably count them at one point, but it must be well over. I mean, as I said, I probably bought over 200 pieces, so I must have sold about 130 pieces or traded.
Jeez.
And I think out of all of those, I've only ever regretted about 5 pieces that I've sold.
Venom busts, yeah.
The Venom busts, I got rid of 2 of them.
He sold it twice.
Yeah, I got rid of 2 of them.
Oh, damn.
He regretted so much he done it twice.
No, but
That was hilarious.
No, the thing about that is I bought one for retail, and it was literally like, I don't know, it was like $180 or something retail.
It's crazy.
It was
That's
like
crazy.
ridiculously cheap, and apparently XM only made, I think it was $18 per bust is all they made on that.
Damn.
They I don't know if they fucked up or whatever, because it was a really small edition. It was like 200, and I bought one for that, and the other one I won on a raffle. So when people then said to me, "I'm going to give you £800 for one," it was like, "Fuck yeah," and I sold it. I do regret selling that, and I do wish I kept one. The Mark 1 Iron Man by Sideshow, I regret selling that. But again, it was the same kind of thing. I bought it for £500, and someone literally 3 days later said to me, "I'll give you £1,200 for it." So I was like, "Okay, I was like, I'll buy it back. I just bought it for £500, so I must be able to find it again." But once you sell it and you bought, it's weird because even though you sold it for this price, but you bought it for that price, it's hard then to buy it somewhere in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah.
The other one,
that's really difficult.
What I'm trying to think of, the Fury of the Beast, but that was very, very lucrative for me to sell that. Ridiculously lucrative.
Sounds like you're trying to convince yourself.
No. Literally, all the ones I regret selling, I literally sold, and I got great money for, and that's why I sold them. The Fury of
moral
the
of the
Beast.
story is if the price is right, Alex will sell.
I'll sell it. I mean, I will. Everything has a price.
Yeah.
If you want to know George's secrets, it has a price. Anything.
Hey, Alex, Alex,
Every piece has a number attached to it.
yeah, Alex, were you by any chance in the market for a sideshow Aquaman EX?
I told you this the other day.
I know, I'm fucking with you.
Ryan was saying that basically he wanted to sell his Aquaman exclusive by Sideshow. I said to him, you might struggle with that because it's a pile of shit.
Pretty sure that's not what he said.
Well, something along those lines. I never
that.
I never let the truth get in the way of a good story. So basically, he's then changed his mind and said, I may give it away in a competition on Gem Mint's channel. I said, if you do that, Gem Mint is going to lose. You lose.
Viewers.
I sent the screenshot to Gem. He thought it was funny too.
I'll tell you something. I actually think that's one of the very few pieces that the Aquaman it's an XFL piece. That X, the long haired bearded portrait and the spear arm, they're brilliant. They changed the piece because for me, that portrait, the normal one I think is really poor.
I think it looks okay for straight ahead, but like you said in your review, and I think Fate said the same thing. When you look at it from the side, it's like, what's wrong with his fucking neck?
I think it photographs. I don't think it photographs well because I saw a picture of it. I think on the BST the other day, and it was zoomed all the way in, and there was like saturated white lighting. What's going on with me? And he looked fucking terrible. I was like, oh no.
Hey, I hope that wasn't mine that you're looking
I don't know.
on the
I'm sorry, man. I hope it's not.
Maybe that's why it's not doing it because my picture's
It's not doing so well.
You didn't put that in the dark room, like completely black.
Is the hook an exclusive too, Ryan? Or just a beard?
The hook. It's actually a legit. I mean, in my opinion, it's a legit exclusive. It's not just a portrait. It's something else too.
Okay.
So it's like
the X is a lot better.
And
I
the
think
long
the X
hair.
looks good.
It's basically like Hobo Aquaman.
Yeah.
I actually really like. I really like the base on that piece. I really like the water wave effect base. The fact that they've managed to capture the foam and stuff in the sort of translucent resin. It's geniusly done.
It's heavy. It's a little wide.
It reminds
the
me
only
of the life
problem
base.
with that piece is the sort of the overly dark bottoms versus that sort of top and the trap situation is a bit of an issue. But I mean, listen, there's very few pieces. In fact, I can't think of many that we've ever seen that we've gone, wow, there's literally nothing wrong with this. It's so honest to God, there's always something, always.
Yeah.
I've heard a million people say this is this and this is that, and I've looked at it and I've just gone, well, I don't like this, and this could be better, and and I think that's another reason why, at these companies come and say please look over this and give me your critiques. I think it's actually handy because you got to think of the fussiest person you've ever met. Because we've had them where we've been sitting there, right? And Alex was there, and he got that Punisher. I think it's the one that Rodney's got.
Yeah.
The guy who owned that piece fucking hated that piece. Alex was like, oh no, it looks pretty good. And this guy's like, no, I fucking hate it. I hate this, I hate that.
Well, no, it was more. What happened is he dropped it off at my house for us to review, and he picked up Iceman. He left us Iceman before that. So literally, he drops off the box. He's there with his wife, and he goes, "All right, thanks. I'm going to go now." And I'm like, "No, you're not, because this is covered in customs tape. It had DHL tape on it. It said that they've opened it." And I said, "You're not going anywhere until I open this and make sure it's okay, because I take the blame for this." So I opened it up and I took out the base. And first off, he's like, "Wow, that's so shit. I don't like that at all." And he's like, "How much do these sell for?" He's literally on his phone. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I think they're going for about £1,000 at the moment. And he's like, "All right." And he's like on his phone. So I'm like there thinking, "Hey, this ain't that bad, Maybe paint could be a bit better. There could be a bit more separation in places. The bullets could be a bit more, something to bring them out a bit more, whatever. Okay, let's put that down." I then take out the legs, and the legs are the best piece for me. The legs, and it's the legs and belt, isn't it?
Yeah, the buckles, all the bullet things, and all the buckle bit.
No, but
really good.
Is it also? The torso's separate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rodney?
No.
I think it's the waist, it's the legs and the torso. But no
Yeah,
arms.
it's all one piece.
All right.
The arms are separate.
Oh, I thought okay, because I remember taking it out and looking at the legs and being like, these legs look fucking awesome. All the patches look great, whatever else. And the guy going, that's so shit. I hate that. Yeah, because he was going, oh yeah, the t-shirt, the logo's too soft. There's no texturing on the t-shirt. Oh, I'm getting rid of this straight away. And I'm in my head, I'm thinking to myself, shit, I could like say to this guy, I'll give you £600 now, and I could take it. Fucking yeah. And then I took out the head with the teeth, and I was just like, yeah, you can sell on it. You can sell on it.
And that's my favorite portrait.
I take this shit. The one he had was first batch, and it was like the face and anything on the piece skin tone was orange as fuck, and the teeth were actually the color his skin should have been.
This is actually my favorite portrait.
You could have taken you could have repainted that and done really well, because the sculpt, the Colissimo sculpt, is out.
Colissimo did a fantastic job sculpting it.
That dude's a machine.
That's what I was gonna say. It's funny because we were talking about sculptors earlier, and one of the things I think would be one of the most thankless jobs is to be a sculptor, because you work your ass off on this stuff, and you have
not on our channel, Davey boy, not on our.
No, not your channel, not your channel. No, but you let.
We are the fanboys of sculptors.
I know you are. Yeah, I know.
I'm telling you now, that Colissimo sculpt is unbelievable.
Yeah,
but it went to a factory and they showed that sculpt no respect. Do you know, it's happened a lot. It's happened to a lot of people. I mean, even the XM Thanos man that I got, man, I don't know what the fuck they done with that. I don't know what they did with the paint on that. It's like they threw it at the paint. They went, here, it's a blue. And threw it.
Dunked it.
I mean, as soon as Ian Wilkinson brought that sculpt under there, the muscles that I didn't even know they were there. I mean, he sent me pictures. He sent me pictures of the base that he'd redone. And I said, fuck me, where'd all these skulls come from in the base? And he says, they're there. They were covered. They were covered by paint. I said, you're joking. I had about 6 more skulls each side. I said, are you serious? He's like, yeah. I was like, wow. I mean, if you send it somewhere and they don't show no respect in the factory and they paint it, it's like, mate, you lose so much. And it's kind of like special.
It's kind of like someone who writes someone who writes a book, right? They write a book, they got the source material, and then they get it made into a movie. And like, you know, what, 80%, 70, 50, whatever percent of the time, it's fucked up. Like it's something you work hard on. And I know some of these sculptors, they put in a lot of time and effort. And like you said, they can actually get texture into the sculpt that gets covered by layers of paint. Like if it's finite texture, it can actually get covered. So we
spoke about that today, which was it's something that's very obvious when you hear it, but when you before you hear it, you don't really think about it, which is where you have to think about a sculptor's side. A sculptor has to over texture, trousers. If it's like a pair of jeans, they have to over texture that by X percentage to factor in for the paint that's going to go over the top of it, so you still get the texture through. And when I heard that, the moment I heard that, it was like, holy shit, that is like the most obvious thing ever. But wow, it was like something like the moment of like mind blown. Yeah. Even though it is something really obvious when you hear it out loud, but at the time you don't think about it, until you hear. Yeah.
I've got to be honest, until I repainted the Thanos, the only piece in my collection I've ever had repainted, but until I didn't even have any idea of how alive things you could make them look. There are so many things under that, in that sculpt, that's hidden by a poor, cheap Chinese factory paint job. And if you don't do it right, if it's fucked, and then there's you don't even believe it. I mean, it's really shocking. I mean, today
there's a load of
Terry Bogard jeans that Connecticut's have managed to do. They look like jeans. They're the texturing is stunning, really, really stunning. So we have to say on the video, you have to make sure that this is not lost in paint. We can't lose this because it's so nice and it's so good. You don't want to lose it. It has to be there.
The funny thing with this Punisher, as far as the one thing I would change the base. Before I would change the paint, I would change the base. That's
For me,
like the original base.
You've got a later batch though, haven't you?
See, I think it's tan just like everyone else. I don't think the batches are different.
No, there's a tan
because mine is number 60.
There's a tan, and there's like having so much fucking carotene in your body that you're like fluorescent orange. I mean, this guy, he was like bright orange.
This isn't orange. This is tan though, so I don't know, but because the original base was a car flipped over. And I think that would have brought out a lot of different.
I never saw the original, I don't think. But I think what happened with that project is Henry went really, really cheap with the casting. And basically, he went cheap with the casting, and he had all that big issue, didn't he? Where they got some back and forward and whatever. Apparently, they're going to make more behind his back or whatever. But I don't know. That seems to have died down. But with that piece, yeah, I think he saw this is going to cost me a lot cheaper to go this way. And I think he did that on that, and that's kind of where that project failed.
Sometimes on your first project, you try
fail for some people.
You're gonna do that.
But I don't think there's an issue with the base though, Rodney. The base we saw, if it was repainted, the sculpt and things on that, it would look fine. It was just anything skin tone was fucked.
Yeah. The funny, like I'm saying though, the thing is you get these sort of things with projects, don't you? When I first started collecting, I wanted to be first batch. I wanted to be the first one to get something. I wanted the first one. Come on, get me. I want Lobo first, or anybody else. I could do a video of it. I can share it. Blah 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 blah. Listen, trust me. You don't want the first. You don't want the first batch of anything you're getting. Avoid at all costs that instinct to be the first person, because the first people, they're the guinea pigs getting fucked. Trust me. You're the test audience to standards. If you turn around and you get it in and you're happy with it, I mean, look at the Iron Man Mark III, for example. Look at that now. You got people that the first batch people got it in, and they're like, "Wow, this is like the mud is wrong, and this is wrong." And then you see these pictures now, and they're coming out, and they're crazy. They're crazy different and look amazing.
That's embarrassing how different they are.
It does happen. If you're the first batch, man, it's you are the guinea pig. Be under no illusion. XM, they send all their first batch stuff only to Singapore. Never goes to the US, never goes to the UK, it never goes anywhere. It goes into Singapore collectors. Why? Well, because if there's a problem, we can collect it, we can sort it, we can take it back.
XM never sends to America or anywhere else to just resellers.
No, but
I just want to point that out to you.
The first batch always goes to local people that they know. Always. So the test audience is cheaper to fix and rectify then and there. Not people that it goes to all the other guys and it goes all the way over the world and it's like, oh my God, you need to ship it back. It's very expensive. It's not cost effective. So that's how that works. If, for example, Sideshow sends you something, you're the first batch. If it's fucked, it'll be fixed later. Like Victor Rosario. Remember his Thor?
Yeah.
He was the first one to do a Thor premium format review. The one where his arm is out. You know, it's out and he's aiming.
Modern.
He did that review. He didn't have that extra piece in the base that kept it up. He didn't have that. So his piece was going to fall on his fucking face. That's the test audience. He went, oh my God, this is going to fall over. This is a problem. Victor Rosario is the reason that all of you lot who have the modern Thor premium format have that extra bit on the base. He is the reason. If he didn't say it, and he didn't notify people and tell them what was going on, all of you would have a fucking Thor that fell over on the
Hey, let me do a shout out to the chat real quick.
Yeah, check the chat there, man.
So I just want to say what's up to Martin Spice, Brian O'Rourke, Cat Dad 776.
Cat Dad.
Cat Dad is Michael. I never know his surname.
Okay. We got Vassrod, Jeff Morris, Jem Mant, Gary Speed, Paradox Nerd, PJ, Vegeta GT, Red Hood, Spanish Heart, Tack, which is Taylor Alexander Cassidy. We've got Suited for Gaming, got Master Pizza, and
Master
we have
Pizza, that's a nice name.
Blake 1980.
It looks like we've got like 3 of our mods there checking to make sure the children behave.
What's going on? And add Gabriel Ross.
No good here.
Hey, we've got a couple questions. We got a couple questions for chat.
That's Rod. Is one of our mods. I don't know if you guys know that's Rod.
Yeah.
Run
Run this shit.
one of our mods.
Run this shit.
So, Spanish Heart asks, shit, I lost it. All right. Spanish Heart asks, any regrets about PCS Liu Kang, Alex? I thought that was a trollish. I thought that was him.
Well done. You're going to be removed from our YouTube. It was nice knowing you.
Okay, we've got another
anyone
one.
Anyone who doesn't know, I have a real hate towards the PCS Liu Kang piece. It took us a year to post the review because I really wanted to sell it.
So we got a couple other questions. Master Pizza says, how close does Alex think Figurama is to getting an Akira license? Or I guess it's Akira license.
Yeah, well, I vaguely recall something on Prime 1 where they were looking into it as well. So I think with both Figurama and Prime 1, if Sideshow got into the mix, it's definitely going to be one of the Japanese companies who are going to get that.
I would think so.
I reckon both. I reckon, in all honesty, the way licenses go now is, it used to be everyone had an exclusive license. I just don't think that's the case anymore. And I think that now, if you get a license, 3 other people are going to get a license behind you. So I think that with the pieces Figurama are putting out, I personally think their diorama style is a lot more suited to the Akira piece, and I think that their paint is much better and suited towards that as well. Prime 1 paint is always super clean, and their pieces are super accurate, but their paint is always so flat for me, and it just fails a little bit.
But I thought that was really with just the Arkham line, right?
It's
the Transformers line.
No, because for me, I've seen a hell of a lot of Prime 1 pieces. I even find the Witcher line is a bit muted as well for me. And I think that there's something on there that could make it. I know it's really hard because I think, as you say, the Arkham line is a very dark, dingy game, which is very. Exactly. Which is very dark, dingy. Turtles, they live in the sewers. So, with all those, that it's just that if you had them, the way I look at it is as if I had it in my collection, they wouldn't stand out. They would literally blend in. But then, I guess their guts pieces are pretty damn epic.
I don't like the bases on there. So busy.
So,
1/3 I like, but not the 1/4.
I don't know. I like the. Is it called the Berserker armor? What's it called?
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Yeah, I saw pictures of it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've seen that in person, and the other guts as well. So the 2 guts pieces I've seen, I think look really good. I do agree that the bases are very busy, and
I'm more referring to the one that you're talking about, just the regular guts 1/4 with the weird devil wolf thing.
Oh, and then they went and made a fucking bloody exclusive, like the money grabbers they are. But anyway, we won't go into that.
Shit on the chat about that. Wow.
So
and then the femto and whatever else. But sorry, go back to Akira. Sorry. I don't know how close they are, but I do know that the owner is super, super passionate about Akira. It's his dream license. I just did an interview with him, and it's his dream license. But I do think that he has pretty deep pockets as well, and he's based in Japan. So it never say never. They just I think it was a 35th anniversary recently. So maybe or maybe that was actually
the longest answer to a question award goes to Alex Thomas.
I'm sorry that you feel
fucking work tomorrow at 6 a.m. Jesus Christ, don't ask him another question.
So you feel like you just want your big fucking purple head on this chat, and you want to get your fucking round, fucking purple dick-shaped head. Go fuck yourself.
All right, so another question. This one's actually from me because you guys were talking about sculptors. And I am a Prime 1 fan. I mostly I lean toward the Justice League New 52 and the Transformers lines. But the one thing that has annoyed me with them is when we were talking about sculptors, does it annoy you guys that Prime 1 doesn't really highlight their sculptors on their website?
Big time. Big time.
I don't understand why they don't do that.
I've mentioned that several times but then again, Sideshow do, but they only really named the head sculptors. There are a lot more people involved.
I thought they named a bunch of them. Oh, okay. You're saying there's more
but there are a lot more people involved in things. I mean, like you literally have someone sculpted a fucking hand.
Okay.
And they'll spread it out. Other companies do it as well, and I think that in this kind of industry, I mean, we've been in it 5.5 years, maybe whatever. But I think the kind of first company who did that was really XM. I think XM really pushed out saying who their sculptors were. I think Sideshow did it before, but they only did it really for select people. It wasn't for everyone they used. It was like, this one's Marty Cannell, this one's Paul Veggiato, this is that.
I got a little hard on for Hardbottle, man. I love his stuff.
Hardbottle. It's also
Is he doing Juggernaut?
I'm like him. I'm really loving his stuff.
Isn't he doing Juggernaut? Isn't he coming out? I think he's doing Juggernaut.
That might be rumored. I'm not too sure.
He said it on the. I think he said it on the stats before.
Oh, okay. If you said it, then okay.
Yeah, I got a little man crush on him because I think he's fantastic.
Well,
he did his pieces recently, and he's been blowing my mind.
He did Lady Deadpool.
Yeah, no,
she's nice. Yeah, she's nice.
She looks nice.
Holy shit! I really like Heatseeker. Heatseeker is awesome. I really think he's great, and I got him in, and I was like, shit, okay, I'm going to keep him. I'm going to find out where he's going to go because he's big. He takes up loads of room. And then I got her in, and I was thinking the same kind of thing where I don't know if I'm going to keep it, blah, blah. I opened it up, and she's better than him. That's the thing we realized recently.
Yeah.
Is
Rodney don't believe it. He don't believe it, man.
She is Rodney. She is much better than him.
Well, here's the thing. It's not a belief thing. When I see them next to each other, the things that I like about Deadpool, they don't have on her. It's like they tone down the action on her. So
let's just say you can see her nipples and you can see her fan.
Yeah, they're the things we like, Rodney. we like the female form, Rodney. Fuck your explosion.
that's what porn
Nick showing through them.
And the exclusive head. I only ordered the exclusive head because it was available. If the exclusive head was like $50 more, $20 more, whatever, I would have gone, fuck it, I'm going for the regular. The exclusive head is one of Sideshow's best female heads. It's really nice.
Let me ask you something specifically about
Ask me whatever you want.
Does it bother you that she doesn't have an expression? Because and it's the same problem I had with Rogue. Like her face is just, I mean, it's a beautiful sculpt.
The funny thing is, when you have the piece and you're looking at it in hand and you've got it there, like we pulled out the head, right? We pulled out the head out of the box. We looked at it and we were like, it's like an orgasmic head. Like she looks
it's like a woman
into the back of her head, right?
Yeah. It's like a woman. You're looking down and she's sucking your cock.
No. Get out with your whiskey, man.
Strange, specific.
Anyway, she had like an eye sort of rolling up look, and we could not fathom. We were just a bit like, what is this telling us? I don't get it, right? But then you stick it on the head, you stick it on the body, and then you realise that her eyes are 100% fixed on the thing she's kicking. So what you end up getting then, right, is what you get there is like a concentration, like she's aiming. You can almost see that she's focused on hitting the target.
I got it up right now. You're right.
I can see it. I'm looking at you, Ryan. I was looking at your collection and being a bit sneaky. But if you look at this with the missile and with the Deadpool head, you can almost feel that she's targeting it. She's looking down, an eye on the prize, and then she's hitting it with her foot. Yeah. It's something that you can't capture in photograph.
It's like focus.
Something you have to see in person, and you sort of get it. As soon as you see it, because we pulled out the box, We're like, what the fuck is she doing?
Mm.
And then as soon as you put it on the body, it was like, I got it.
I love
That
the
I
pose.
Exactly.
I love the pose.
It don't work for me.
Exactly what George says. I mean, the head in your hand. You have the head in your hand. You're like, yeah, it looks great, but you know that's not going to look right.
But-
That's going to look, that ain't going to
So
work.
you're saying when you hold the head at
when
crotch
you,
level,
if you just if you have it down here,
Why not? I mean,
that'll work.
and then you put it on the body, and
That's
you,
when you turn your webcam off, right?
yeah. Well,
she's
no,
quite
sometimes
scouted.
it depends who's paying.
like even on it, she just looks emotional. I love the X-23 one because there's an expression.
That's the polar opposite. Yeah.
I don't like the Rogue one because of the same thing. Like her expression looks like she's making googly eyes to somebody.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah, but she's a fucking
sometimes a bit
flirt.
of a smolder is nice. There's a smolder to it. There's a confidence to it. Like I like the Rogue because it's like this is easy. I don't have to scream. I don't have to do any. I'm more than comfortable whooping your ass and looking hot doing it. I kind of like that. It's powerful. The Rogue's pretty powerful. So I kind of dig that. I'm just like, wow, yeah, definitely.
Her eyebrows are out of control, though.
I can't. I don't know.
What's that, right?
What do you mean about the eyebrows?
Dude, they're like, I mean, it's like somebody like sneezed while they drew them. Like this, and it's like, and you're like,
Am I crazy? But does Rogue look like Gina Davis when she was hot?
People were saying,
oh, yeah.
Angelina Jolie more.
Angelina Jolie. Gina Davis can work.
Gina Davis was quite attractive at one point.
When?
Like in The Fly, no? Was she attractive in The Fly?
She was all right. She was never a slouch.
I can see. I can definitely see a bit of Fergie in Fergie in.
That
Oh
freaked
my
me
God.
out. That freaked me out when they put those side by side. I was like, oh damn it, it's too true. I
It's
can't
so
unsee
bad.
this.
Isn't it? It's really fun.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's great.
I can see Fergie and Angelina.
So
weird.
we got Singapore Toy Game Comic Con coming up next week, Alex. What we looking forward to seeing, my brother?
Megatron. I
Well,
might get the Megatron if they show it.
I'm gonna be there, so yeah. Just want to throw that in there.
Rub that shit in.
I actually sold a piece yesterday. I got in £300 selling a piece, and I spent £360 after I got in the £300. So I just basically bought a load of shit for the con because one of our big complaints is always about sound.
Audio.
So I just bought this like really expensive thing which has way too many buttons, and it's like to do interviews with.
Oh, those are like dynamic mics, right?
Yeah, so this is a Zoom.
Looks like a probe.
It looks like some
Look like
weird,
that shit from Ghostbusters, man.
Yeah, I said the same thing. So,
You've been working with some real weird probes there, Dave.
It's gone.
Yeah.
so I said that today to George. So basically, I got this, and so that's the Zoom 5. I didn't go for the 6 because I needed more buttons. And then I got the actual like proper fucking mic.
Oh, that's this one. This one's Rode too.
Oh, what's that? Is that?
The Rode Podcaster. It's dynamic.
Oh no, this is the Rode Reporter.
Yeah, I meant it's the same company. That's all.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I've got another Rode one which fucking broke after 2 days, so I hope this doesn't do the same. And then also, I got a selection of fluffy things which are great. They look like fucking
Dead dogs.
You got some triple.
Yeah,
The question was what you were looking forward to fucking
I know, but I wanted to.
Fucking equipment up.
I sold this piece, and I got this, and then I went shopping, and I bought myself a sandwich, and it was prawn cocktail. I kind of enjoyed it.
I just spent a lot of money on that shit. I wanted to fucking bring it up, right? I wanted
You
to
were
know.
so masterful with that I didn't even realize you didn't even answer the question. I was like, oh.
He's so good at it, isn't it? It's
Yeah, George was like, you didn't answer the question, dickhead. And it's like,
you need things done. Like when you need them done, it's really hard. I'm like Alex, how we doing with this or what we doing with that, and then he'll send me like 20 different things. I
got a rash. And you're like, what?
And then what I'm doing is I'm buying time. I'm buying time. Probably this. I really want to see the Star-Lord. I actually really want to see that. That's something that they changed the. They had an original concept of that, and I think it looked better than the new concept. So I do really want to see that in person. I know of another line that they are doing. I don't know if they're going to be showing it, so I'm hoping to see what that looks like in person, because it's I can't tell you what it is, but it's something where they're doing it in quarter scale, and it's like something that I always envisioned to be like 6 or below. It's a very unique concept, and it's not like something that other companies. I mean, there may be smaller scales of it, so I'm quite looking forward to seeing how that works. Huh?
Describing something you can't talk about.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it's something that they're looking to bring out. That XM are looking to bring out. Also, I've seen a few teasers of the HMO pieces. So I've seen the Mai, who's the one with the big tits from was she like King of the Fighters or something like that?
That's how I would have remembered him too. So
yeah, when she wears like the red.
I didn't know you were talking about until you said big tits, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. So
last year, Morrigan,
being honest.
But I also, I mean, I don't know if they're bringing it out this year, but I know that they were looking into doing like a Felicia before, and they looked into doing that. I think we lost Geo. I think he got bored of me. So they were doing like a Morrigan. Oh, I thought you were
froze for a second. Yeah.
So they did the Morrigan, which is phenomenal. And I think the next one's Felicia, and I'm hoping that to see that if that is there.
How fast do you think she's gonna sell out? I know Morgan was quick, and I know Felicia with her. I mean, she's gonna go fast, I think.
Yeah. Well, the thing is they've had a really. I mean, they haven't released a lot in the last year. They've had a lot of internal problems, and they're all been resolved now. So you're going to see a lot more products from HMO coming out, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with this this line, this kind of Marvel versus Capcom line that they're doing.
Cool.
There's a possibility that they may carry on the Marvel versus Capcom more detail with some character. Yeah. But I'm hoping that they announce that. I'm going to do an interview with them, and I'm hoping they fucking do it on that.
Well, you know, Mufuzal's a great guy to chat to, and if you know him and you've seen any of his work, he did the Pewter Thanos recently that's gone crazy. The fact that, you know, the Pewter one, that's the 24 karat gold Thanos and all that, it's very popular. It's gone crazy. But, I mean, he is an incredibly talented artist, sculptor, and you know, I've got to say that some of HMO stuff was really impressive. It was really up there last year. So I'm glad to be seeing more of their stuff coming.
He did the XM Widow and Daredevil, didn't he? I think.
He does a lot of Iron Man. I mean, he did the Imaginary Iron Man. He did a load of XM pieces as well. He's done so many things behind the scenes. He does loads, and obviously he has his own company. He is like one of the most chilled out, relaxed guys you ever meet. I mean, when we saw him at the convention, well, I saw him the year before, but when we saw him like last year, George met him, and that George is like, he's like a fucking like a cool jazz singer. You know, he wears his fedora. Yeah. Such a cool guy.
This guy going in his demeanor as well. You know, he's just you just when you meet him, he's the type of guy. If he asked you for like money, you just give it to him. You just be like, fucking take it. Here's my wife. Take it. He's the same guy. He's just a really.
What's the name of that when you give your wife to like the king of the?
I thought you were talking about cuckolding.
It's funny because we met him and we met the other fucking art clown that was working with HMO at the time. And he was the fakest, big-headed fucking car salesman prick. And he was like, "Oh,
is that the Zimbabwe guy?"
He crawled right up our arms within 5 seconds, and we just felt like sick. I walked away and Alex, that guy's a fucking idiot. And he was just like, yeah, I said, stay the fuck away from him. But Mufuzal is one of these guys, man. You know that is full of integrity, real honest guy, hardworking, chilled guy. I really enjoyed speaking with him, spending time with him. Actually, it was very, very humbling experience. I like meeting people you think shit. You know what a great guy.
Didn't B Mother and Gina? And then George, I think, is doing an interview with him on Monday. George from MCE.
They are.
So that's cool. He's going to get a lot of spotlight.
I hope he gets as much coverage as possible. He deserves every bit of like coverage he gets. I mean,
But while you're name dropping and saying that they're all doing these interviews with him over the internet thing, I just want to say that I will be interviewing him in person.
You just wanted to get your
Monday,
plug, right? Yeah.
on Monday, I will actually be going for dinner with him and his wife. I just want to throw that in there as well. You know,
Like mic drop.
you could do your online interviews, but hey, you know.
Well, look,
Humble. Radd Titan's so humble.
personal touch.
do you think we can expect any new XM Star Wars reveals? Because that's what your boy really needs to see.
Oh
You know what I mean?
gosh.
That's serious business over here.
Why did their Vader suck so bad too? Jesus.
Gunderson, I heard you have a big mouth.
Yeah.
I'm joking. Gunderson was saying, "Yeah, Alex told me, blah 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 blah," on a live chat. Yes, well done.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll
don't
speak to you
worry,
later.
listen, Paul, don't worry.
I'm
Usually
joking.
I'd come out with that shit. I'm the one that gets later on. Don't panic.
Well, no, what that was basically, I don't know whether there was like kind of doubt on a piece, which is like the General Grievous. I mean, it was just too big, and also, I mean, it was pretty damn epic, and it was big when I saw it. But what they were looking into were like switch out arms, where he literally had them, like all his arms fucking splayed out, and he had the sabers in his arms as well. And the way it was with his arms down, it was like a car tire. It was his bike things, or whatever it is massive. And with the sabers on, it was even bigger. And they were like, I don't think, price wise and whatever else, I don't think they could get away with doing it. I just don't think anyone would buy it. And I think the issue they had was Darth Maul. It didn't sell too well. Darth Maul is a phenomenal piece. Sorry?
I see his face from one angle, you know, like I feel like they really restricted the viewing angle of that piece with the hood. You know what I mean? It's not a bad piece.
Darth Maul is their best Star Wars piece, and easily.
Got it coming.
Strong words. I got it coming.
They only sold 270 of them. No, that's the edition size.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, it's like, Jesus,
Great. Not great for XM, but great for anybody who's got that piece in. For me personally, I think if you're collecting those MTO stuff, the made-to-order stuff from XM at the moment, whatever you do, man, don't fucking sell them pieces fast. Keep them pieces for a while, a few years, because they'll be gold dust. That's the problem as well at the moment. How many people are moving stuff on so quickly that, you know what I mean? It's, you know, you're taking a loss all the time. For me, if I took that piece in, if I got a piece in at 270S, man, 5 years before I'd even think of listing that.
Well, look what happened with the Scorpion. Look what happened to the Scorpion.
Yeah.
So like, it gets announced as 300 ES, and then within 4 or 5 days it's sold out now, like everywhere. So you can go ask anyone you want. They're pretty much gone.
Well, do you know the funny thing about that is George had that on pre-order, and he wanted to cancel it. So I told him, he wanted to order. He didn't want to order instead. He wanted to order something else. So I ordered the thing he wanted, and I took over Scorpion.
Yeah, and now you can't find it. I mean, I've asked around because I was thinking about it. Maybe picking him up myself to go with Doc Ock, but he's gone.
Sculpted by Caleb Nefran, stunning piece. One of the best normal-sized statues at the show last year. Very, very, very impressive.
I'm not even a Spider-Man fan.
It's one of the only pieces you could justify buying two of, really, because the switch outs, and they make it so different. The classic and the modern switch outs is like there's so many parts to changes, and even the whole fucking tail. He looks totally.
He's got switch out head, switch out tail, switch
out
out
guards,
hand, so up to sort of the elbow, and then switch out leg thigh plates that change the armor completely. So I mean, he is one of the most. If you take that piece and you just switch it over, it's a different statue.
Yeah,
completely different. Like it's one of the best of that I've ever seen. Very, very smart. I mean, that's why I wanted it, is because of just the displayability of it. It's quite tall, but it's not very deep and it's not very wide. So it's a DTOF level piece to display. You wouldn't have an issue. It's quite high.
One of the things I really appreciate with XM is, like you said, George, like having with it be a little bit. Like having the ES so low on some of these pieces, I mean, you don't find that anymore. Like you're never going to find a 270 or 300 at Sideshow. mean, maybe Iron Studios because no one buys half their stuff, but like I don't know what, I don't know anywhere else you're gonna find it. I don't know. I appreciate that. Like when I know I'm looking into getting the white Magneto, and I'm sure. I mean, I think it has a 999, but that's still low. I mean, for Magneto, that's a pretty low number. So I mean, you just can't beat it.
No variants. You know, this is the thing. You don't have to worry about the fact they'll bring a red one out, they'll bring a black one out, they'll bring a blue one out. They don't do that. You're safe. You're safe in that regard. It's a nice thing. It's a nice warm fucking blanket to get under at night. No, you're not going to get up tomorrow morning and it's going to be like, oh, we're making this piece in red, same sculpt, same shit. And who else can you say that about at the moment that's licensed? Not many. And it's very hard, but it's the truth. You know, Prime 1, all of a sudden we're going to see a gold one, a white one, a blue one, a green one. You know, and it's all going to come out in 6 months after you've spent your money or you've got the piece in hand. It's very, very hurtful. It does a lot of damage to your
I know it's the Marvel Now Magneto, right? So it's like not the classic red and purple, but that would have sold. I'm pretty sure that would have sold more than 999 pieces. I mean, it's just they cap it to keep that number low, and I appreciate that. As a collector, you're like, hell yeah.
Well, they made the promise that any Marvel piece, and it is only Marvel. So if that happens in future, DC may be above 999. And they said any Marvel piece will not be above 999 at any moment. That's what they said at that time. So they've stuck to that, which is great because they I mean, obviously with Magneto and in the Throne and all these other pieces, they took off a lot and they peaked. They could have sold some pieces, several thousand of them, and they still stuck at that 999, and that's really good of them to do. Obviously now they're not selling as well, so they're kind of like, you know, but that we've spoken to them about this whole thing. We've said to them the reason why they've got this now made to order thing, and the reason why something like Darth Maul is 270 or whatever it is. You know, Scorpion is he 300 or is he 270 as well?
I think it's 300.
Yeah, so like you have these pieces that are so low. The reason why that is the way that XM deal with their sales. They sell pieces, which is fine. They sell them to distributors, which is what they do. But the thing is they have these people who are distributors who resell them. And the thing is what people need to know is these people make a lot of, they make good money reselling them or doing whatever they're doing. They make a living doing it. So basically, you know, XM will sell a piece to them or a distributor. You get a discount of X, which I won't go into prices. You get a discount of X. What happens then is they'll make out like they're your friend. They make out like we're going to queue up all day. We're going to be at the convention and we're going to be in line. If it's an event exclusive, that's different. Exclude that from my conversation. If it's Transformers, exclude that. And if it's busts, exclude that. But mostly any other piece, so like any Marvel quarter scale, whatever else that's not an event exclusive, they will buy it wherever. And they will not queue up for it, but they'll make out like they're your friend. They're in line. They'll charge you an extra $100 or $200 for it. And what will happen is when the demand starts to take off, they then force like slow sales and whatever else, and say like it's selling out. They'll then start going. Now it's 14. Now it's 15. Now it's $1,600. Whatever. They're making now a real wide bracket. Then because Singapore shipping is one of the most expensive shippings ever. Like they're so expensive. So basically to get something shipped from Singapore is really expensive anyway. They'll have a contract to do that. And what they'll do is they'll go, oh yeah, all right, what we're going to do is our shipping is X. But they'll add another fucking $50 on there, whatever they'll add on there. They'll do that. Then, you know, so you're paying this really big markup on a piece. Then when a piece starts to come out or whatever else, people are getting it in hand. Collectors who don't want it anymore, they sell it cheaper sometimes. But what happens is the actual resellers will have 5 left over, and they'll go there because there's such a high markup. They can drop that price by quite a lot, and then it creates like a false like value of the piece. So the value will peak at like this price, and then it'll go down. But the thing is if the piece has never been in hand, the piece, you know, it's created by these resellers, and that fucked up their whole market, I think.
So look at it this way, right? If I have a statue and the retail value of the statue is £100, right? but I can get it for £50. Yeah. Then my markup, my percentage is 50%, right? Just as an example.
That's 100%.
Yeah.
That's 100%.
So I'm getting 50% off, right? This is just an example,
Okay.
right? If I am getting 50% off, but I sell it at 40% off, I'm still making 10 fucking percent. I'm still making money. But you've bought it at a really low price. And when we are searching and looking for these statues, they're coming up fucking cheap. And it's affecting the value of the collector's pieces that own them. Because I have, for example, I have a cable, and when the hype was big, it was selling for £2,000. But now it's selling for £700. That it looks like the statue has lost money. It looks like the value of the piece has gone down, but it hasn't. What people have done is they're just taking less profit than they would have at the start. That's the game. And we said to XM from the beginning, you need to stop this. It's going to kill your brand. It's going to kill your marketable brand. Your people are scared. Your piece ain't worth nothing because they start off at 15. They start off at retail 1,100, go up to 1,500, sell at fucking 700. What the fuck? What's happening?
The thing is, as well, is it's like it's not XM doing that. XM is selling it. XM is selling it for the price they would sell it for.
They're selling it for their.
They're the business. They're selling it for price X, which is what they sell it for to their distributor or to their customer, whatever. It's then the people who resell it that fucks up that whole market.
Yeah,
is that why they switched to made to order?
Yes.
Yeah, because they had loads of stuff in their warehouse after as well.
So it was a bit of two different things. It was
they're trying to make sure that they make collectibles. XM want to make collectibles. They don't want to make mass stuff, and they don't want to have a warehouse full of extra stuff or loads of sellers with lots of stuff selling them for cheaper than they should, or even taking a loss. Don't get me wrong, sometimes these people may take a loss just to clear the stock, but the point is that we know as collectors that it's a little bit like the stock exchange. One day your statue is worth 1,200, the next day it's worth 700. You think, fuck me, what's happened? And that's how it affects everything. It affects it all that way. So you've got to be careful, because if a pattern starts emerging, the XM all of a sudden is their pieces are not selling for profit. It looks like their brand is suffering. It looks like the value isn't there. But this is the problem. This is the transparency that's difficult to show. Is about what people are making on top of everybody. Sometimes they're making a lot of money, sometimes they're making a loss, but that fluctuation is dangerous, and that fluctuation only happens when you have too many. If you don't have too many, you can control that. So if you deal with a made to order, so you know that only the collectors actually get in the piece, then it protects you. So if I say, okay, I'm making a Scorpion and it's a made to order number and only 250 people order it, all right, I'll make it 300. Or I'll make 450. It protects you. If you do 999 on everything, but some pieces, XM do make a lot of B and C list characters.
Well, the reason why as well with the made to order now is being done is because people aren't willing to order on day one. People are willing to wait because of that false economy. Because of that markup at the beginning, they're willing to wait until they get to the hand. Because if you look at something like XM Thor, do you know how cheap you can get that piece for now?
Yeah,
that piece is fucking massive. That piece is a huge piece. It's not terrible.
Collection.
The unmasked, unbearded head is fucking dreadful. The unbearded head is really, really bad. But other than that, it's a fairly decent piece, and you can get that for like $500. And that's pretty decent.
I think the whole market has something to say about this, because when I started collecting, for example, there was one Venom you could buy that was like 1/4 scale, which is kind of 1/5. It's the Comiquette. There was one, and if you wanted the Venom, that's the one you got. And so that, guess what? People could mark it up. Exactly. They go, hey, I've got this piece. It's the only one you can get. And so you're like, all right, well, fuck, I gotta get that one. And now, then since the last 2-3 years, XM Venom, then Sideshow pops up another Venom, and now we've got fan art ones and all that. And so I think that saturation is really affecting it too, because
of course. Yeah,
100%.
Whatever, I'll just go get 2 or 3 other pieces somewhere else, and because there's so much coming out.
Well, there was a point where that Venom, the exclusive Venom,
genre or character,
that Venom was selling for like $2,000.
Yeah.
And that's fucking ridiculous. That piece is not worth $2,000. I mean, I like it, but it's not worth that much money. And that's the thing. Funny enough, I asked that guy from Hive I asked him about that, and Venom was the example I gave as well, because it was probably like a 5-year period minimum.
Yeah.
Where Sideshow Venom was the only quarter scale Venom you could get. You could not get anything bigger than a 6th scale other than that Sideshow comic kit, and that was it. So yeah, that was funny.
I always felt like XM had to do this or go worldwide. They either one or the other.
Yes.
And since they're not doing worldwide, they got to do made to order.
I heard a rumor that they're done with it, Marvel. Can anyone squash that? It was literally a rumor.
Yeah, I think that's BS. I mean,
like bullshit. Like, why would they do that?
Marvel, you have to remember that Marvel is like bread and butter. Marvel will make you money no matter what. If you get, that's why companies like Sideshow will release, Spider-Man every 3 years or whatever, they're 2 years, whatever they do. Those characters just make you money. They they're easy money. And
the Justice League.
The only problem is, since Disney took over, there are a lot more restrictions, and it is very, very difficult to get things approved. But it's still easy money, and it's still, you have to remember that most of the companies out there, the reason why they're on the map is because of they made Marvel products, other than Prime One, obviously. But then again, you look at Prime One, and their best products are probably their Marvel ones. So anyway, that's.
Really? Yeah. I think their DC ones are really good. I like their DC too.
The quarter scale.
The Hush is a different planet. The Hush is almost like a different company.
I was talking to 1/4. Yeah, you're right. The Hush line is really fantastic.
The Hush is just fucking nuts. The whole like all of them. All of them are very special.
Their quarter scale 2099 is one of their one of their best pieces for me. I love it, but I'm biased because I got it. But yeah.
Yeah, that Spider-Man was tempting.
That's a quick question. So we're talking about Spider-Man. We were talking about XM and what we might be seeing. Do you think we're going to see an updated XM Spider-Man? Because we are. Oh, okay. Or you think?
Yeah. So? They changed it. Basically, they made the base smaller, and they made it a lot more. They made the pose a bit better because his body was a bit, I think, twisted a bit weird. So they did make some adjustments to it. I think we'll see the new version of it at Singapore Toy Game Comic Con. I think. I know we will, but anyway.
That'll be great though, because that's one of the last ones in that line, So it's kind of cool to cap it off, and I'm happy that we revisited it because you can't really visit Spider-Man after that. That line is awesome. Yeah,
they had issues with it, and I think what they have been forced to do is to take away some of the display options. I think that some of the display options, like the Sandman arm and the Venom stuff, I think it was just too. It just made it too big, and it made it too hard to ship as well.
Yeah. Really, you lose a lot of. I mean, what I really liked about that piece was the swinging element. I'm hopeful that will remain, but I definitely need cleaning here or there. A couple of switch out heads, maybe a couple of changes, and But the great thing about XM, the thing I like is the fact that it's never done. It's never done. They're always looking to maybe switch it up. I mean, in fairness, Sideshow did the same with Magneto when it got ripped. They made some changes. They fixed a few things. That's what you want to see. You need to be listening. Don't believe that shit about us being the 3% people. That is the biggest pile of horse shit you've ever heard in your life. People are listening. They're watching conversations. They're watching pages. They're around. Ears everywhere. They know exactly what everyone's doing, and they know exactly what everyone's thinking, because it's about money. And if you ain't paying attention, then you're not making any money. And they're making money, so they are listening. And it's very, very smart. So when you come out and you're like, I like this, I don't like this, they're listening. If that gets traction, and a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't like this, and lots of people saying that, they'll go, fuck, nobody likes it. That's how it works. The people spend the money. And I think the XM needed to change a few things on that Spider-Man, so hopefully we'll see a better updated piece,
Gio, I know that XM has teased the new Sabretooth coming up for the X-Men line. Do you think that we're going to be seeing that there as well?
I would hope that
they showed the portrait. They showed the portrait of it a few months ago.
I'm a bit. Was it Ben's profile or somebody's thing like that? He likes to do that. He likes to do that. But yeah, I mean, I like I like the I like the look of that. So I'm a big Sabretooth fan, so it's definitely one I would like to see. You know, hopefully they get the scale right. It's a very difficult character to sort of scale. I think Sabretooth, because
Yeah,
people
he's pretty
overscale
wide.
him and make him too big. He ain't that big. He's just a shade under 7 foot.
He's huge compared to Wolverine. Yeah, you're right. But as far as like, a
He's
character,
5'3".
yeah, he's
Right,
not that big.
Yeah, Wolverine at the right scale. I mean, that's why I kind of like, you know, I like the little Wolverines because they're the right type of scale. You know, I like Sideshow's 1/5 and Comic Cat one, and I like the XM one because they're the right scale for proper Wolverine. A nice little one. But, you know, hopefully they get that right. There's lots of things I want to see as well. You know, there's been a Groot and a Rocket rumoured. You know, lots of other bits and pieces. So we'll see.
I'm looking forward to that Samurai Deathstroke, man. I think that looks fantastic. You know what I mean? Because I got the
worldwide license as well, man.
yeah, that looks great to me. You know.
So the Samurai line is worldwide.
Yeah, the DC stuff is right.
It's all DC.
The 1/6
DC,
Joker.
all DC and all Top Cow.
All of them are worldwide licensed. I mean, that Samurai line when we saw it last year was really impressive. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with the Joker. When we felt when we were there, it needed a bit more. It needed reworking, but we'll see what happens. I mean, the others like Batgirl and Bane and all that, they've just gone fucking berserk. They're just crazy, and the Deathstroke looks crazy too.
Tell me about the Ivy one, because you guys seem to have some issues with that one, but I really like that one. What's the deal with that one?
That is a really hard one to sort of explain in the right way. The funny thing is we haven't put the review up, and the review actually goes a lot more detail into, you know, the piece itself. The piece is an exceptional piece. It's a solid 8 out of 10 piece. But the prototype that we happened to see over 5 days, Alex has probably seen for a few times now, was a 10. It was one of the best female pieces I've ever seen. It actually is the best female piece I've ever seen in person. But some of the details, like, for example, the ivy on the legs, on Alex's one, on the one that we managed to see, was a little muted in places. The paint on the base was a little muted in places. I have seen pictures of other people's, and some of them look better than others. But
hey, Alex, what do you think?
I muted my mic because I was trying to
I was waiting till he stuffed more chips in and Geo paused. Hey, Alex, what are your thoughts? And he's like, oh.
Well, no, I agree. I mean, I've seen it probably in about 3-4 conventions, and the one that we reviewed, the paint was pretty sloppy. Where the ivy joined the body, there were green parts on the actual leg, and then there were like skin tones on the actual ivy, and it's a fucking nightmare to put together. It's really,
Yeah,
I mean, it's that element of like, at what point? I mean, the same as Ghost Rider and some other pieces. It's like Carnage, all XM actually. But at what point is it like, you know, what number of pieces is it not really a statue anymore? It's a fucking puzzle, you know.
I actually really liked the way it went together. It was very ingenious.
Oh no, the engineering was amazing.
But I mean, I like all that. That's a personal thing for me. I like the fact that they stretch themselves like that, that they challenge themselves, that they don't make it easy, don't make it simple, you know. But there was an extra head that I'm sure we saw at the convention that was missing, and I really like the other head. That, you know, and I think that the base especially lost a lot of the sort of details in terms of the separation between the roots and the greens and the bits and pieces. It just lost 20% of what it was. Now, here's the funny thing, right?
So Paul corrected me, and it's not cherry blossom.
So
Lotus leaf.
So if you never
Lotus
saw the
flower.
prototype,
If you
it would be different.
carefully, right? If you haven't seen that prototype in person, ignore the fucking unboxing. Buy the piece. You will love the piece. I'm telling you now, you will love the piece. You will not be disappointed. You won't get out disappointed. But the problem is that we have seen the prototype numerous times. I have probably about maybe 200 pictures of that ivy. I have so many photos of it. So I've looked over the photos and I've gone back and gone, yeah, it's lost 20% of that. It has. But that's okay, because what you're buying right now, if you're buying from Sideshow, that's what you're getting anyway. So what's the difference? Don't worry about it.
Gio, let me sneak in real fast, guys. Sorry to cut you off. My phone is at 1%, so I'm gonna have to dip on out. It was great talking to you guys. I had a damn good time, so I'll have to do this again. But I don't want to just cut out.
All right, Dave.
I see you guys. It's nice to talk to you.
Get a phone on charge and get back here, Dave. What's the matter with you?
You're gonna miss the survey. We got a survey question coming up.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah. There's a
It's
survey.
great to actually be on the chat and not actually have to like do all the pictures and do all that
Yeah,
shit.
you
Because
can eat crisps and
I can eat
fucking be
crisps.
unbelievable.
I can
Great
drink
idea.
whiskey and I can relax a little bit. It's fucking awesome.
This is great, guys. Thanks for having me
Plug
on.
that thing in.
Man, lovely to see you, Dave. We'll have to get you on the Radd Titan chat soon, yeah?
Absolutely. As soon as Alex gets back, yeah, it'll be great.
Could do it while I'm
Alex.
there.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
That's what I'm telling you, Dave.
I do got one question. Have you guys ever, and this is for everybody, ever seen a piece picture-wise and had one impression, but then you see it in person and it's a complete 180?
All the time.
Does that ever happen? Like complete 180?
It happened to me. It happened to me on Friday. It happened to me on Friday. I went to the comic book shop and they had the Sideshow Black Widow, and in pictures, I didn't like it in pictures, but when I saw it in person, it was a beautiful piece.
I saw Matt Collection's video of the piece, and I actually had a much better respect for the original head sculpt. I didn't like the original head sculpt in the beginning. I was like, oh, it looks like trash. And then I looked at it, and it looks nice. It's pretty nice. I still think the exclusive looks good. It only looks like, I don't know if it was MCU George's video or if it was Max. And by the way, both of their EX head sculpts look different. The hairline, it looks a little bit different, but it looked like it only looked bad on certain angles.
But Rodney, you said it happened to you. Like we went to go unbox the Mark III with Mike. You said you didn't expect to like it.
Well, that's because I don't like Iron Man statues.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I didn't hate it. I just, once I saw it in person, I was like, okay, this is really nice. But I guess I was neutral on it. I didn't expect to, have any kind of opinion of it either way, because Iron Man statues don't usually do anything for me. But yeah, in person, I was impressed by it. But I mean, like, complete flip.
I've had to eat humble pie numerous times. I think the red Sonya with the snake was a hard one. That when I saw that in person, I thought that was amazing. I thought that really was. I think that's still one of the best female pieces out.
Which one?
I still prefer it to the new red Sonya. I think it's better.
Oh, so do I.
PJ.
Yeah, the second one, I totally agree. I was arguing with them on that on one of the Collectitude episodes. The second one looks so
more. I mean, for me, it is the superior piece. That's my, that's fine. I've had to do it numerous times. The Deadpool, I've got to say, I did not think the Deadpool Heat Seeker was possible. Not from Sideshow. I didn't have any trust or any security that Sideshow could A, deliver that, and B, that it could get it to you safely. They did both. That was the bit. Man, I should have shoved my face in that fucking humble pie. Because I would have
bet most of my collection that piece wouldn't have arrived to me safe. And when I opened up that box, I was like, holy fuck, they did it. Wow.
Yeah, they did it.
Well done. Pieces that explode off.
Because Thanos was the piece that people said, Sideshow won't make any mistakes, and they made them.
A lot.
But that Deadpool, everybody said Sideshow was going to make mistakes, and they didn't. So it was kind of interesting. It was one of them things that you just think, wow. Because I would have gone, oh yeah, that throne will be okay. That'll be fine. But it didn't. There was loads of breakages, loads of problems. And Deadpool come by and flew past with no issue. It's happened to me a few times. Alex will probably remember my failings more than I do.
Well, the problem is I have to edit them and I have to watch them over and over again. I'm just trying to think of ones where I think there's ones where I really liked them and then got them in and thought, what the fuck is this shit? I mean, like the Arkham Batman from Prime 1. I ordered that and that came in and that was fucking dreadful for me. for me, that piece just looks like an overgrown NECA toy, and it's flat as fuck. And it's really underwhelming. Personally, that's my opinion on it. The face again, I don't know. I just can't like it. The only reason I had that for as long as I did is because it was in the box and I never took it out. It's literally, I'm not even joking, it's one of the only pieces that I've got and literally lifted this styrofoam, put him on the base, looked him over, made sure there's no damage, and put him straight back in the box. Damn. That's one of the only pieces I've ever done that with.
Which
and the only reason, the first Batman they released.
Oh, okay. Oh, the Alex Ross one? The Alex Ross, the one where he's got the beak?
One. The first.
Oh, my
Arkham
bad. I got you.
No, the Arkham one.
The
one for Arkham one.
No, isn't that no?
No. It's called the Arkham Knight Batman.
Okay.
Yeah, but the Alex Ross one, isn't that the no one?
I don't know. But the thing with that is, again, the only reason he stayed is he was in the box. And then I also, because I had Deathstroke on the way, and Deathstroke came in and was fucking like miles better, much better. But the only reason I got rid of Deathstroke is just because of the shoddy QC. All the magnets were fucked on my one, and it just didn't stay together.
And it's so big. When you've been quarter scale for so long and you go 1/3, as soon as you get it in your hand, it's nothing can prepare you. Nothing can prepare you. Just like Jesus Christ, they're so big. Like 20 inches turns into 30 plus, like that fast. You're just like, wow. You used to your range being anywhere between sort of 20, maybe 18 to sort of like 25 out 26 out of push, and then you've got these guys who are standing there, that no arms up, no dynamic, nothing, but just the tip of their head is like fucking 30 plus inches, and you're like, ooh, and they're so deep as well, like probably a little unnecessarily deep, because they could be displayable if they weren't as deep as they are.
Yeah, I think also, I guess if they were displayable, you maybe would have got a few more. I mean, it sounds really, again, we've had this conversation several times and we've said it on several reviews that as collectors, we have a really weird mindset where we'll spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on our collectibles, and then we'll go and spend $50 on a fucking IKEA cabinet. And I'm really, really guilty about that. And it's also like, if one of those, like, if that Arkham Deathstroke fit into a DTOF with 2 shelves of a DTOF, you probably would have been there still, or something like that, which is really bad way to look at. It's a really terrible way to look at things. But
it's about 30 quid.
Yeah.
You're always thinking that's money for another statue, so you never get to the point where you start thinking about spending the money on displays.
I think also the Back in Black Spider-Man, I kind of had I always wanted to see it, but I never really thought very much of it, and I always had the Iron Spider, and I was always like, Iron Spider is a much superior piece. There's no contest. I'd look at the pictures and I'd be like, Iron Spider wins every single time. I got a really, really good deal on the Back in Black, which ended up costing me like $200 and something. So I got that, and it came in, and I was a bit like, worst case scenario, again, I could sell this for £700 tomorrow. At the time, it was going for like £800, £900. It was going for a lot of money at one point. Open it up, and I was like, this piece is fucking really nice, and this piece is better for me than the actual Iron Spider. I think what you have to remember with the Back in Black is people get confused and they get a bit like, why doesn't he have blue tones like the other one and whatever else? It's not the symbiote; it's a black suit, and that's what you need to bear in mind. So it won't be, it won't have a lot of depth. It won't be blue, and it won't have the shading because it's a pure black costume. Material costume. So, but for me, the Back in Black was probably one of the big surprises for me. Yeah.
So, gentlemen, the show is winding down, and it's everyone that comes on this program must participate in a survey. We've got this ongoing debate. You see, our boy PJ brought this up.
Ryan's part of that club too.
Yeah, Ryan's in this too. So, Alex, I know you've seen Deadpool 2 because I remember you posted it a few weeks ago. Geo, have you checked it out yet or no?
No, man.
Okay, well, this is spoiler free, but it's just a random survey question. So the actress that
assuming
plays,
you're single too. Assuming you're single.
yeah, no, I mean, yeah, just
we
pretend
might
for a
wait.
minute that you're single.
Yeah, yes, Thor, before you even ask me, I would sleep with Josh Brolin.
Wrong question.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So the actress that plays Domino, PJ brought us to attention that she does not like to save her armpits, you know. And he said that would prevent him from participating in any extracurricular activities, you know what I mean? Rodney and I said we don't give a two-bit shit, you know.
Has PJ been married or anything?
He is now, yeah.
As far as we know, he's married.
2 and 3 kids in. 3 kids.
Oh, really? Wow. And she's still making an effort. Jesus, wow. What does he do?
Yeah, I think Jim Mint broke it down for him, you know. So I mean, you know,
when you're in when you're in relationships and things, you see all that, you know, it happens, you know. And if she had hairy armpits and, you know, she didn't trim the lady garden for a couple of weeks, it wouldn't bother me at all. No.
I've got to be honest with you. I just stick my face in it for a little bit of warmth. I got no problem with that.
I forecasted what you guys would say as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So PJ, if you're listening, you won't crack.
But also, she is really hot. But the thing is they did that thing where they did the side by side with John Candy from Spaceballs, and I can't unsee that.
Yeah, with the eye.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah. Wouldn't bother me.
what John Candy?
Nah,
it only proves that Radd Titan lack any degree of standards. Really. In that regard.
I just bring clippers with me.
Yeah, we could go in.
Myself.
I mean, I've got Jewish blood. And do you not remember, like, Moses part in the Red Sea, man? I have that thing.
Go hard or go home, PJ.
Might decide to flat it.
Growing up, I mean, George and I both had some bad days growing up. So, yeah, we wouldn't complain about that. Are you saying it looks like that? Or?
Hair, believe me. Hairy armpits is the least of your concerns.
Yeah. When they got a beard, that's when you need to worry. Yeah.
I'd probably make an exception for Kate Beckinsale.
Maybe 5 years ago. Or something, yeah.
Dude, I watched Jumanji last night, and Karen Gillan is fucking hot, man.
Yeah, she is.
That was a chick with the booty shorts on.
The breadhead, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The breadhead as well, man.
Well, she's Nebula, isn't she?
Yeah, she's Nebula. I said to Jenny, I don't mind. Nebula would get it and all.
Yeah, but that's what you just said a minute ago. Is you would fuck Thanos and you would fuck
I mean, Vader's my brother. I ain't hopping in the sack with him.
She was in that torture chamber, you know. I'd have to sneak in.
It's like one of them anime movies.
Yeah, I was going to say like Ninja Scroll.
Makeup or not, I'd make an exception. I don't know.
Rodney's thinking about Ninja Scroll, isn't he?
I was thinking about Overfiend, actually. I think it's called
Overfiend.
Yeah.
Thinking of like every hunter he's ever watched.
In Ninja Scroll, where she's tied up, isn't she? And
that happens in there.
Is she tied up? Oh, that's right. I'm thinking of a different scene when she's. Yeah.
No, Ninja Scroll, didn't I?
I
was thinking at the beginning when the other dude's messing with her.
So
no, not the rock guy. Later on.
Yeah, I know.
The shadow guy.
What's alarming is how well Alex recollects the entire situation of Ninja Scroll.
So speaking of anime, though, so Alex, you saw that they're doing 2 versions for that Fist of the North Star, the 600 and the 900 version.
I'm all over the 600 one if I had to buy one.
Yeah.
And the poses they showed, the fighting stance, all the way. The one they showed at the convention, there was the pointing pose,
Right.
the "you're already dead" kind of look.
Looks
I
lame.
don't like it. I don't like that at all. For me, I would go with the $600 fighting pose.
Yeah.
The base.
$600, good. That's a good price for it.
Well, the base. The base.
Going to Alex? Are you going to?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the base for me with the statues, I've said this before, it would suit Raoul more because even though it is the dojo the three brothers trained at and whatever else, you don't really see Kenshiro in the dojo. And the Raoul is more iconic to that.
Yeah.
Where he kind of grabs the heads and crushes them. That would be great for a Raoul base. But so for me, the Ken base is just too overdone. But I do think that when you look at the Prime 1 pieces and you look at all their guts pieces and you look at the bases on them, you look at the bases on the Guyver pieces as well, with the gore. The film is so gory that it needed something on the base. It can't just have. It's like a memorabilia base. It's like a memorial base. So it's like a 35th anniversary. But that's what they've done.
Like Bruce Lee. Like Bruce Lee, similar to the Dragon.
Yeah. But it's a bit like I don't know. For me, it really misses a trick. And for me, I just think that
it could be so much
it's
more.
It could have been really, really fucking special. If it had one of those diorama style Prime 1 bases that they're famous for, I would have been all over it. I may still buy it, but I think I'll just wait. Prime 1 pieces drop. Prime 1's going to fuck up. They're going to release another fucking variant and whatever else they're going to do. I'll get it later on. So
what's interesting? Oh, go ahead, Rodney.
No, I was just going to say I was so excited to hear Prime 1 doing Fist of the North Star until I saw the base. Yeah. Because you think of Berserk and the bloody bases and everything. So
But I saw like about 50 pictures of the pointing pose before I saw the fighting pose, and I was just like, "What the fuck is this? This is pretty bad. I don't like this at all." I saw the fighting pose, and I was like, "All right, I'm confused now because his legs are in different positions, and this is two statues." Right. So I'm really confused what they're doing here. I don't know whether they're testing to see what people want, or if there's going to be now 4 statues because there's going to be the one with the base, the one without, and then the other pose with and without. I don't know how they're doing it. Yeah. I personally think that the best license at the moment for Fist of the North Star, unfortunately, is 1/6, and it's Somei. The Somei Rao on the fucking horse.
Who makes that?
Is ridiculous. Somei, is that what you call it?
TSU.
Same
thing to do Vega.
Type that in right and have a look at that, man. We want your mind blown. Type that in and get that.
And I've seen it in person.
On their website.
I've seen it in person, and it is fucking massive.
Who's the character?
Rao.
R-A-O.
You know it's gonna.
What?
R-O-A-H, isn't it?
Oh, R-O-H? I thought it was R-A-O. Okay.
You know what's gonna suck if Prime 1 turns around and does a variant on that Fist of the North Star later with some bloody.
Doesn't come up with anything.
Rodney, wait quickly before. You do know that Somei are making a 1/3 round as well.
Really?
Someone sent me an image the other day. Yeah, they're making a 1/3 as well, and they're doing the Ray, and the Ray looks wicked.
Are they doing a Ken anytime soon?
I've not seen the Ken, but I've only seen the 1/6 Raoul, 1/6 Ray, and a 1/3 Ray. They're the ones I've seen. I can't remember who sent it to me. I've got to look into it. But yeah, someone sent it to me the other day.
With the beard.
Yeah,
like from the beginning of the movie. I'd love to see that.
I'm surprised no one's done a Baki the Grappler. You guys were watching that?
They are.
I liked it a lot better than Fist of the North Star, to be honest.
Maki Franco is pursuing the license for the Baki the Grappler.
That's one that could use some love,
Yeah, he's very close to getting the license.
He makes some good pieces, that guy. No.
Yeah,
have you guys ever seen that? Have you guys seen the anime?
No, I don't think we had that over here.
Okay, that's pretty good.
But I had a conversation. I went out for beers with Maki, and he was like talking about it, and I was just like, I have no clue what you're fucking talking about. And I literally spent a few hours trying to help him find the licenses as well. To find Japanese licenses is one of the hardest fucking things you ever can find out because. It's really, really tough to find who has a license, who holds licenses for those kind of things. really, really tough.
Well, I'm a big anime fan.
I'm gonna have to bounce. I've got a dinner waiting for me because I've postponed it to be on this chat. But I want to say
we ending now anyway, y'all.
All
So
right.
we appreciate y'all coming on, man.
Thank you for the invite, man. It's been awesome.
Oh
Yeah, that's-
and we'll see you in New York City, Alex.
yeah,
Definitely.
I'm gonna miss you, Thor. Next year I'll be there. Once my baby's here, I will be there.
Let me tell you something. Before this life is
I'll be
over,
there
I'm
next
gonna make
year,
it
too.
over there, man. That's a promise.
Congratulations
We'll
too.
show you around London town when you come round here. But I just want to say thank you very much. Like, genuinely, it's been an honor. It's great talking to like friends that I speak to on PM and everything everywhere. It's been a great chat. A lot of, it's been relaxed. It's been lovely. It's been a lot of fun. If we are posting this eventually on Radd Titan or anywhere Radd Titan related, subscribe to Darth Castle on YouTube and check them out. Stay with them. They're good people. So thank you very much for having me, especially, and God bless you both. You all be well.
Dude, absolutely.
Peace, y'all. Appreciate it.
Peace.
Catch y'all on Friday.